The final stretch of this 48 Laws of Power video brings us to the significance of the last three arrangements defined by American author Robert Greene. Once more, we will unbox perspective on these laws through real-life instances, depicting the complex world of expedient political maneuvering. The chronicle begins with the 46th Law, which advises individuals to never look past the metropolis. The guidance urges one to focus on his or her immediate community and not to be distracted by the glamour of the wider world. The reason for this recommendation lies in the penchant of individuals to measure their successes or failures against the grandiosity of the world stage. Echoing this caution is Giuliano de Medici, the youthful scion of the wealthy Florentine family, who betrays his family's immediate welfare in pursuit of the papal throne. His stress on the Roman primacy incited the wrath of the Romans, and ultimately, his desire for the grand picture leads to his downfall. Our narrative shifts another gear as we delve into the final stages of Giuliano's tale and begin to explore the 47th Law unveiled by Greene: do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, know when to stop. The statement reminds one to measure his or her attainments and to recognize the significance of perseverance and marginal gains. The epitome of this principle can be witnessed in Caesar, the towering figure of the Roman history. The gorgeous Roman leader refuses to conform to the seductive suggestions of allies and retires to his tent victoriously after achieving his landmark in Greece. Proceeding to our next stage, we stumble upon Cardinal de Richelieu, the cunning advisor of France's underage King Louis XIII. Our comprehension expands as we observe how power games unfold through our lens of the 48th Law, the wind opposition. Use all means necessary to maintain your dominion. Moving forward, the following law emphasizes the necessity of contending external threats by any means necessary. Richelieu harnesses Spain's alliance and enlists the rebellious Huguenots to suppress the threat posed by the ill-famed Duchess of Chevreuse. The cardinal continues his pursuit of total control on a tumultuous path, perhaps humanizing the valuable suggestion of the 48th Law. As our journey reaches its climax, we encounter Queen Elizabeth I, the ruling monarch in Greene's historical repertoire, embodying measures and experiments the nuances of the 48th Law to garner and nurture her power effectively. Queen Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen, brought protracted stability to a kingdom that had been fraught with religious strife. The Queen hailed the 30 Years' War as her opportunity to enhance England's standing in Europe, thereby enforcing the law of the 48th Law: court attention at all costs. To reinforce her pivotal role, Queen Elizabeth contrives premeditated diplomacy rooted in religious concessions and economic benefits that further bolstered her reign. The narrative of her cunning strategies in outplaying adversaries such as the Holy Roman Emperor and the Pope reaffirms the stalwart command of the 48th Law. The Queen continues to mesmerize us with her nonchalant persona and Lady Gracious. Denied perpetual control by the ever-growing influence of her subjects, she uses her invincible spirit and intellectual acuities to maneuver political landscapes. She encourages anti-Spanish sentiments to pacify any potential backlash, unfurling her deadly resourcefulness, the quintessence of the 48th Law. Delving deeper into the chess maneuver, Queen Elizabeth manipulates her potential rivals, like her cousin Mary. By prolonging Mary's captivity, the Queen neutralizes her opposition and consolidates her power base. The subtext continues to articulate the interweaving of history with the final law. In the culmination of our narrative, we pick up the threads of our discourse on the book 48 Laws of Power by bringing forth the universal applicability that our present-day context offers for Greene's powerful laws grounded in several instances. The final chapters of the book remind us of the import of knowledge, an ingredient that spices our endeavor, and as the narration culminates, we are left with utmost dominion's discerning dominion over our catapults to limelight. Time and again, history comes to our rescue, assuaging our umbrage, and guiding us to navigate through the political labyrinth. The text and tenets expounded in 48 Laws of Power, albeit disturbing or repugnant, hold up the mirror to our own cultural practices root deep in the past, corroborate it with our existence currently, and serve as individual rallying points in the mire of the contemporary political landscape. As the shadows lengthen in the reel of our narration, we finally come to terms with the implications and applications of these strategic laws in our daily life, overcast with gray cells in a veritable chiaroscuro. Echoing the purport of the final tenet from the book, keep waiting and the people will come to you. Court attention at all costs, making other people come to you. The conclusion wishes to redound and gestate our mental faculties, stimulating an instinctive journey of introspection. The laws lie buried within the narratives of various instances, from the ancient Romans to the modern-day politicians. They align, and at once go off resonance, with the tides of time. Thus, the complexion of our narrative weaves into the unfathomable symphony of human patterns and polishes of perception, assimilating the observations not to aim above or fall below the tier of sure discoveries, as our resolution comes to a halt. As the narration of this grand epic somewhat etches out the detailed lineaments of these cherished maxims molded into the scroll, it gradually makes way to the grand panorama of human life, incorporeal in its grandeur and commingling in its geological stratagem. Consequently, embracing a crescendo, we oscillate through the catalogue of disturbing and disconcerting specks, speckled with annals of exemplary feats and moral turpitude, resonating with the epitomes of human Machiavellian impulses, both on the grand theatre of life and each in our individual microcosmic exchanges. Also, we can draw the threads as we attempt to stitch a new design, weaving an endless tapestry of human experiences, interlacing threads of convictions and conflicts, evoking the emotions attitudinal of those yearning for love, power, and survival. The tale culminates into the way each of us chances our life, one fine day, a page or a law at a time. Finally, the saga of 48 Laws of Power meanders into the crevices and rooftops of nations real and metaphorical. As we grapple with the flux of human power play in its acme, its decrepitude, ascendancy and decline shown through the kaleidoscopic view, we are left with a terse lesson to acquiesce. Power conundrums through the prism of 48 Laws of Power find no distinct conclusion but eternally echo the strife for survival and dominance. The pages of this book heed to the parable of human endeavor and expansiveness, scribbled through sands of time, reciting chorus of inky surreys through the palimpsest of our individual and collective human cultures, nations and civilizations. True accomplishments in the arena of power, then, emerge when we heap individuating insights and cast our compass of understanding to our hearts, taking a resolute call on the diagonal path, an ongoing process of deciphering the 48 Laws of Power. Therefore, as our observant odyssey ends, the kaleidoscope of individual and collective actions, intentions, attitudes and collated responses winds down, embedding nuanced dimensionality and depth with a peculiar profundity that is liberating and daunting, emancipating and debasing, providing a parting glimpse of the power chess laid out on the human board summarizing the 48 Laws of Power.